If there's one thing Americans know about, it's waste. In fact, 89% of Americans agree that our government is full of it. So Donald Trump empowered Elon Musk to create the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, and go through our government with a fine-tooth chainsaw.
The chainsaw for bureaucracy.
To cut budgets and fire thousands of federal employees.
We're cutting down the size of government. We have to. We're bloated, sloppy.
So I sat down with some of these fired bureaucrats to see if they felt any remorse for wasting taxpayer money. What would you say that you did for the government? Would it fall under waste, fraud, or abuse?
So I was in charge of helping essentially keep American consumers from getting ripped off by financial companies.
Okay, so all of the above, or?
None of the above. I worked for the National Institutes of Health as an education and outreach specialist.
Fraud, waste, or abuse?
I thought I signed up to make sure that those things didn't happen, but apparently I was mistaken.
I don't think I can put you down for any of those. I guess fraud?
My job as an inspector general is actually to find and ferret out waste, fraud, and abuse. I am a watchdog.
You do have hall monitor energy. I see it. Little bit.
Big watchdog energy.
What kinds of things was your department blowing that taxpayer cheddar on? Yacht parties, balloon excursions? What was the caviar budget?
I've never had caviar. Is that like the egg stuff?
So you're saying no caviar Wednesdays? Okay, but even without bottomless caviar, the salaries of these government workers must account for a large part of our bloated federal budget, right?
I think the reality is that they're getting wealthier to taxpayer expense.
How much of the federal budget is spent on federal employees?
4%.
Are you sure you don't mean 94%?
4%.
4%?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say a much larger number.
A lot of people do.
By eliminating your position, how much money was saved for the taxpayers?
The taxpayers ain't save any money by eliminating mine. The money that we have under my leadership actually returned is over $30 billion to the Treasury.
I'm no mathematician, but that sounds pretty good.
We've gotten $21 billion back in restitution and relief to Americans who are scammed by their financial companies. And it's even better because we don't cost taxpayers a single dollar.
That's right. These guys were hunting down fraud, waste, and abuse way back when Elon still had his original personality. So you were the original DOGE.
Well, I don't like to call what the IGs do what DOGE is doing. IGs work by standards.
Is there any part of you that's a little upset because an immigrant actually did steal your job?
No.
No?
No.
Why should we fund a National Institute of Health?
The things that NIH studies, diabetes, aging, mental health, addiction, it's literally the epicenter of biomedical research for the entire planet. I do think there are ways that we could cut back on inefficiency, but you don't use a chainsaw to do that, you use a scalpel.
This might sound crazy, but is the Department of Government Efficiency not that efficient? Speaking of ineffective,
Some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected.
Elon was quickly forced to hit Control-Z on many of his layoffs, which is the shortcut for undo and not the name of one of his kids.
So the administration decided to put us on administrative leave, and then they just started another round of firing. But since I got fired once already, I was not able to get back into my laptop, so I don't know if I have a letter or not.
So you got fired, and then they essentially sent you a text that said, "You up?" And you responded, "Yes," and then they ghosted you?
Yep.
So are you saying that this government is being run by boys?
Essentially.
It also doesn't help that Elon keeps revising down the amount of waste he's finding.
I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
$1 trillion, $500 billion.
$150 billion.
Classic boy behavior, over-promising and under-delivering. Do you believe that the intention behind DOGE is to actually cut unnecessary spending?
If you wanted to take over all of your competitors' business, one way you could do that is you could go to every financial regulator, every government agency that has sensitive data from the private sector. You could suck that data into some sort of AI, large language model, And then you could use it to undercut all of American industry.
Do you think there's any chance that Elon is doing something good with all of our data? Like maybe with having access to all that data, he'll finally understand the mysteries of the human heart. No?
Well, they've removed the watchdogs. And the danger of that is that Congress doesn't have a transparent way of knowing what is happening within these agencies and departments.
It's almost like they've set out on this journey to find fraud, waste, and abuse, when really the fraud, waste, and abuse was inside them the whole time. By the time Elon returns to his day job, an estimated 280,000 government employees could be fired. But despite all the chaos and destruction, there are some things that Chainsaw can't take away. After experiencing all of this, would you trust the government again?
Honestly, yes.
You would?
I would. They need people that actually care about the American people.
So you would go back, but after a healthy boundary talk?
Yeah.